I have to record this while it's still fresh in my mind. I the cardiac sent a message saying, um, I think I put in the last message that they had to go to the hospital last night. Anyway, they called from the hospital and were sent messages and then called. Anyway, they were like, hey, bring me stuff, bring me clothes, shoes, all that. And I'm thinking, oh, okay, yeah. And they were like, and and as a side note, they said, bring me my oxygen. It wasn't in the list. This is a funny thing that happens with her. If she's out shopping, if I don't put it on the list, then she's like, well, it wasn't on the list. That's why I forgot it. Well, I guess that's what happened to me today. Because I got all the way there and I find a spot that's relatively close and walk all the way up there to the emergency room and I wasn't huffing and puffing yet, but had walked far enough that I felt like that was a little bit of exercise, and so I had to stand there and wait and stand there and wait and stand there, and then finally we got to get through the metal detector, and then we had to stand there and wait at registration. All I'm trying to do is drop some freaking clothes off for this patient that you guys got. You have to wait. You have to wait. You have to wait. But they were nice people, of course. You know, it's King's Daughters and all that. And so I get back there, and the nurse recognizes me and knows I'm on my way there with clothes. And so yeah, she directs me to the place. And I get there, and they're saying something about, I don't know. I was telling them on my way in, I was like, you guys need to get somebody to push her around to her next appointments and stuff. And they said, oh, well, we could provide you a wheelchair. I said, that's great. And then you need to get somebody to push her around because I'm not the guy to push her around. I'm not pushing her anywhere. Well, we don't normally have people here to push patients around and stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah, well, I'm not trying to be a cardiac patient today myself. I'm not looking to be a part of the emergency room experience. Could you call somebody? I mean, really seriously, it was like the nurse was like giving this whole spiel. Oh, we don't know what to do. You need somebody to push her. What could happen? We just don't do that. And then a doctor or somebody in scrubs, you know, a short king, as they would say. One of my best friends, probably. Us little guys got to stick together, you know. But then he and it's the same thing. So, hey, look, he want, and say it to somebody else so they can mirror the exact same sentiment back to me. Now we're talking about a gigantic building full of caregivers. It's their business to give care. I'm standing there going, I don't want to have a heart attack. I'm not pushing around anywhere. But they seemed to, they had to wait and balk at all of it, I guess, until I made the suggestion that they find somebody. You know, it's like, yeah, when we came in here the other day, I pushed her in, and I brought her in, and they said, well, now, do you want to push her around, or would you prefer someone else to? And I said, as I was huffing and puffing, I preferred somebody else to, because we're not really up to the challenge of pushing people around all over the hospital. Yeah, I guess it wasn't too much for them to. They said, well, that was the main desk. You know, that's the main entrance. So I'm like, yeah, well, maybe you can call somebody there. It's comedy. It was comedy, but again, you know what it was all right. So you folks are trying to take me, trying to maneuver me into through sentiment or guilt or just being buffaloed into a corner, to take on a responsibility that's not mine to take on. It isn't my responsibility. And furthermore, it's a responsibility I shouldn't take on. The theme seems to still be there. That we want you to take on this job that's not yours to take on. Take on this responsibility that isn't yours to take on, never was, and you'd be better off not try to take that on, because you're not fitted for it. You're not prepared for it. You don't have the proper equipment or the training or the knowledge or the instruction. That's always been the devil's game with me. Either that or my God is a devil of some sort. He's training me to not fall for it again, whatever it is. You know, I don't know what the deal is, but it's silly and comical. It's just the same thing as, hey, this is a God-ordained spiritual marriage, kingdom spouse thing, ordained by somebody who believes themselves to be a God. It's not your God, and they want you to take on this responsibility that they don't want to hold, I guess. They don't want to carry it any further, and they want you to take it on, and even though it's not anything that you should take on, and it would be very bad for you to take on. So you see, we've learned our lessons throughout our life again and again and again. If it's going to be real difficult, let it go. Let somebody else take care of it. Like pushing the patient around in the hospital. They pay people there at the hospital to do that. And they're fit. They're like at least 15 years younger than me. A lot more muscle that hasn't been ripped off. Probably taller too. So you see, we just don't measure up to the job anymore. Not for these things. You can see where I'm coming from, right? I'm sure you do. I'm sure you understand. But God bless each and every one of you, especially the little girl that was cracking up off to the side. She couldn't keep a straight face because she was being very much entertained by the fact that I'm looking at these people, and see, it doesn't matter to me if you're a doctor or if you've got a degree, or if I just caught you operating on somebody's brain. It really doesn't matter at all what you do or how you are or what your position is. Because, I know people fill those positions all over the place. Hey, like in the Matrix, give me a download for a neurosurgeon. I need to be able, So, the rest of it's just a game. That game, I don't know what that is. And I know she felt disappointed as well. Because get this, guys, I finally get back there and I get that straightened out. We're not pushing her anywhere. You got to get some. But get this, I forgot her oxygen generator. It's one of those days. That's why I told her. I said, "Oh, really? That's right. I guess I was supposed to bring that, wasn't I?" And but it was like, we were up all night and we didn't get any sleep, and yeah, it's like I told her. I said, it's just one of those days, one of those weird, strange days where everything is weird. Everything from the registration to them acting as though they don't have anyone there in the hospital that can push this patient of theirs back and forth to all these other things that they got to go to, and so very weird, very strange. But I'm just grateful it's not me that's in the hospital. I'm grateful that we're getting along and things are continuing to improve. And I don't know what that was. Maybe that was somebody trying to see if they could get me angry or something. But again, we don't have anger. So at most, probably the most you can get us to is disgusted, and to the point where we're saying, what the hell is wrong with you people, or something like, do you need instructions on how to perform your profession, how to treat what? Yeah. It should be a memorable summer, as I've been told. And God bless the man that has been wanting such good things for us. God bless the Father in above. And praise be to the good Lord that made sure that anger, wrath, all that it is, was removed from me, not to ever return. I'm very thankful about that, very happy about that. Again, I remember, I know when it was installed in me. And I'm holding you people responsible for these things. You is held responsible. I'm glad that the Darkness is letting go. Because no, we're not marrying anything of the darkness. We're not marrying our opposite. What do you think this whole thing has been about? Us saying no for the last 15 years or whatever it's been. We're just not into it. No, if we were to be conjoined with any, if we're going with combinations of any sort, that would be day people. Sunny, it's all beneficial, not a thing where we're you got to fight their demons and their illnesses and all the horrible weights and curses that come with them because they're cursed by God because of all the things they've done. No, we're not taking any of those people on. Nope. No, we can't do that. There's other processes for vampires and such to make their way back from the night to become day creatures again. And it doesn't involve me or my team suffering in any way, shape, or form. But instead, actually probably profiting and having some more extra fun, something like that. To make it worth our while to be around. All right, guys. Well, thanks for the interesting experience. And God bless you. And, the nose ring theory. Yeah. I thought that's fun. That was funny. All the chicks are wearing nose rings. Yeah, we're professionals. They're nurses and stuff. Yeah. Not just nose rings, septum piercings. Well, there's no faster way to say, Tom, we hate you, and we're on that other team. Remember, you don't want any of this. And whoever's in charge of you women, they know that, don't they? That your own image is used against you. And yeah, the tall girl. Yeah, that's exactly what we wanted. Out. It's what we've been wanting for a long time. Out. Finish well without this other stuff. And yes, leave them behind because they're not me. They're not mine. It's not for me to take on. That's someone else's responsibility. Them that trained it and lived with it and taught it all it knows. Taught it how to be dark and evil and all that. It's for somebody else. We're not into that. But thanks, but no thanks. See you soon.